God sends food. The Israelites began to travel across a huge desert to the land God promised them. But there was not enough food, and they started to complain angrily. They blamed Moses and Aaron for bringing them out into the desert. "We would rather be slaves back in Egypt," they shouted. God heard their complaints. He told Moses he would send food, and God kept his promise. In the evenings, huge flocks of birds called quail flew into the Israelites' camp. The people were able to catch them and cook them for their meals. In the mornings, the ground was covered with flakes of bread. The people called it manna, which means, "What is it?" God told the people to collect just enough manna for each day, no more. However, on the day before each Sabbath, they were to collect enough for 2 days, because God wanted them to rest on the Sabbath. He didn't want them to work by picking up manna that day. Can you name some of the foods to thank God for? Did you know that all your food comes from God? Remember to thank Him at each meal. Exodus 16. Oasis. An oasis is a place in the desert where there is water. The water comes from a spring or river. In an oasis, trees and plants can grow. Most oases, like this one in Tunisia, have built towns built around them. People can live here because there's always a supply of water. People grow fruit trees and vegetables. Date palms grow easily and are useful for food and wood. This man is cutting dates. There are two kinds of market in Tunisian oasis towns. This is a food market. The food is piled up on woven mats on the ground. See all the food piles? A covered market is called a souk. Here, most things are sold apart from food. Caravans bring goods from across the desert to these markets. Houses in an oasis are usually made of mud or plaster. Their thick walls, flat roofs, and small windows help to keep them cool inside. Underground homes. Some desert people live in very strange places. The Matmatans of Tunisia built their houses under the ground where it is cooler. Homes in the rocks. On the edge of the desert in Turkey, people build houses in these rocks. They hollow out the insides and put in windows and doors. Strange sights in the desert. Thirsty travelers crossing desert sometimes think they see a lake in front of them. See, look at them. They're pointing at this, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's a lake of water." But as they move closer, the water disappears. It's a trick of the light called a mirage. Hot air above the ground acts like a mirror. It reflects the sky, and it looks like water on the ground. This is also a mirage. Look, these camels are on dry land, but they look as if they're walking on water, and we can see their reflections. Sometimes dark clouds form and it looks as if it's starting to rain, but the hot air dries up the rain before it even reaches the ground. The desert's past. In some deserts, there are strange tree trunks made of stone. They are fossils of trees that grew in forests there 100 million years ago. Deserts were not always dry as they are now. Cave paintings in the Sahara show that animals such as elephants once roamed there. In some places, there are ruins of old cities. There was once an oasis here, but the water dried up and the people had to move away. This plain was once a lake. As the water began to dry up, it got saltier. Then it dried up completely and left a desert covered with salt.